All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're cracking open the file on a very special chemical agent, one that's been on a critical mission since all the way back in the 1960s. Its name? Norgestrel. And trust me, it's got a pretty clever story.
But before we get into the details, let me ask you something. What if a medicine you took was only 50% active? Kinda sounds inefficient, right? Maybe even a little weird. Well, that very idea is actually the secret to understanding our agent's true identity.
See, Norgestrel is what's called a racemic mixture. The easiest way to think about it is like a team of two identical twins, perfect mirror images of each other. So on one side, you've got Levonorgestrel, that's our active agent, the one doing all the heavy lifting. And on the other side, that's Dextronorgestrel, its inactive twin who basically just tags along for the ride. So when we're talking about Norgestrel, we're almost always really talking about the work being done by its powerful other half, Levonorgestrel.
So what is this stuff really?
Well, Norgestrel is a progestin. In simple terms, that's a man-made version of the natural hormone progesterone. It was cooked up in the lab back in the 60s with one goal in mind, to perfectly mimic what our bodies do naturally, but for a very, very specific mission. And that brings us to its primary mission, the one it is absolutely famous for, contraception. This is the field where Norgestrel, through its active form, Levonorgestrel, really shines as a true master of prevention.
And its assignments are pretty varied. You'll find it as the star player in progestin-only pills, which you've probably heard called mini pills. It also works as part of a team with estrogen in combined oral contraceptives. And, of course, maybe most famously, it's the key ingredient in many emergency contraception pills.
Now, this is a really, really important point to get right, especially when we talk about emergency contraception. Norgestrel's job is to prevent a pregnancy from ever getting started in the first place, mostly by stopping an egg from being released. It does not end an existing pregnancy. That distinction is absolutely fundamental. But its work doesn't stop there. Norgestrel is also deployed in hormone replacement therapy, or HRT, to help protect the uterine lining. And it's used to treat a bunch of different menstrual disorders by helping to regulate the whole system. So yeah, it's a pretty versatile agent. So, how does it actually pull off this main mission of preventing pregnancy? Well, it's not just one single move. It's a coordinated, multi-pronged attack. Let's just call it the 4-point playbook. And this strategy is honestly brilliant. First, and this is the big one, it blocks the signal from the brain that triggers ovulation. Simple, right? No egg, no pregnancy. Second, it thickens the cervical mucus, creating a kind of biological roadblock. Third, it alters the uterine lining, basically making it an unwelcoming environment. And finally, just in case, it weakens sperm survival. It's a comprehensive forefront attack. Okay, but every mission has its rules of engagement, and it is absolutely essential to understand the potential risks and side effects. This is the operational fine print, if you will. I think it helps to break these down into two categories. First, you've got the common side effects. Things like irregular bleeding, maybe some acne, headaches, or mood changes. A lot of the time, these will settle down after a few months. Then there's the serious stuff, which thankfully is much more rare. This includes things like a higher chance of an ectopic pregnancy if conception happens, and very rare links to things like liver tumors or blood clots. And there are some very clear mission abort conditions. Norgestrel just shouldn't be used if you have severe liver disease, if you know you're pregnant, have certain types of cancers, or a history of blood clots, among other things. Safety protocols here are absolutely paramount. So now, let's turn all of this into some practical, need-to-know intelligence. Think of this as the user's field manual for making sure the mission is a success. For anyone taking a progestin-only mini pill, this number is everything. 3 hours. You have to remember it, because if you're delayed by more than 3 hours in taking your daily dose, that's a big problem. So why is that 3-hour window so vital? Because if you miss it, you're looking at this. A dangerous drop in effectiveness. The hormone levels in your body fall off pretty fast, and those protective barriers we talked about, they can be compromised for the rest of the cycle. Precision is everything. And finally, you have to be aware of mission interference. Other substances can mess with how Norgestrel is processed by your liver, and that can make it less effective. We're talking about certain seizure medications, drugs for tuberculosis, and even a common herbal supplement like St. John's wort. You should always tell your doctor about every single medication and supplement you're taking.
So there you have it, an agent created in the 1960s, built on this unique 50-50 principle that is still a massive player in global health today. It's really a testament to some incredibly clever chemistry. And it leaves you with a final thought, doesn't it? If this is what we accomplished over half a century ago, what does the next breakthrough in this field even look like?